Good evening, everybody. David Paul here in the KHOU 11 Weather Center on a Friday night. We got the tropical update for you here at 8 o'clock. We'll give you the tropical update here. Also, before we're done, I'm going to give you a quick little update on tonight's storms and this wet, stormy Saturday that's prompted a weather impact alert for us as we head into Saturday. First of all, tropics, it's interesting. So Melissa is the storm that we're going to be talking about this evening. It's the only game in town right now. It's in the Central Caribbean. It is a tropical storm. However, it is forecast, and all models are suggesting that this is going to become a Cat 4 or a Cat 5. It's going to become a major hurricane. If that happens, let's just say that Melissa becomes a 4, that would give us a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 major hurricanes that we would have had so far this season. Colorado State University folks were forecasting 3 major hurricanes, Cat 3 or above, so this would put it over their forecast for major hurricane. Just one little interesting tidbit. Also, Colorado State was forecasting us to get to Pablo, so we need to get Nestor, Olga, Pablo. We need 3 more named storms to get to their forecast of 16 for the end of the season. Overall, even at this point, you know, to get this close to the storm counts, pretty good forecast for storm count. Of course, the problem with these long-range forecasts is that we don't know where they're going to form or where they're going to go, so we got to take it one day at a time. Sea surface temperatures are still plenty warm. 88 in the Central Gulf, 90 Western Carib, 90 Central Carib. This is right where Melissa is forming. So not only is there a lot of surface warmth, there's also deep water warmth. I'll get to that in just a minute. We'll take a closer look at the Carib and the Gulf, and right in here, just so warm. Sea surface temps near 90, that's bath water. You know, 89 out here in the Eastern Carib, 88 north of the islands there. But let's take a look at the ocean heat content. So this takes into account not just the surface temperature of the water, but how deep does the warm water go, because that gives you a total measure of how much energy really is available for a developing tropical system to feed on, because these systems will cause upwelling. If there's cold water underneath a skin temperature that's warm, you know, that's not nearly as much energy for a storm as there is if there's 90-degree water here, and then it stays very warm down 15, 20, 25, 30, all the way 50 feet, because it's going to upwell that water. So if it's warm water, it's upwelling in addition to the skin temperature being warm, got a lot of energy to feed a storm, and that's what is happening right now. And in fact, as I look at this, see this little area that's been carved out where there's the colors aren't quite as bright? So this updates every 12 hours. So already right there, you're seeing there's lower ocean heat content available, because that right there is where Melissa is forming and upwelling. It's pulling, it's using the heat energy that's sitting right there for it to form. Interesting. Okay, so there's Melissa on the satellite. You can see how quiet the Gulf is. There's nothing developing in the open Atlantic. This is the only system we're watching. Nothing else expected to develop over the next 7 days at least. So Melissa, as it was an area of disturbed weather, came west. Then it started to develop, and once it got in here, it just kind of stalled out. So deep convection now over the center of the storm. It's beginning to strengthen. Winds are at 65. Once we get 10 miles an hour higher than that, we're going to call it a Cat 1 hurricane. It's moving north at 2, so it's almost not moving for all intents and purposes. And I thought I'd show you a close-up of the track over the past 36 hours. So we went north, curly-cued down, west, went north, curly-cued down here. We've made a big show of going nowhere over the last day and a half. And that is what is going to continue for the next day or two, as this continues to sit and feed on not only the warm water in the Carib, but also upper level winds are in the process, even right now, of becoming very favorable for development. They're becoming very light at the upper level, so there won't be any shear. So you're going to have this developing over very warm water in an unsheared environment, and that is the ingredients you need to get a major hurricane. So this is forecast to drift west and become a Cat 4 as we head into the end of the week and early next week. So this is going to be a slow process. This is Monday, Cat 4 south of Jamaica. So here we are Friday, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So 3 more days at least of Jamaica sitting in this on the wet side of a developing and strong system. Now, so far, the rain shield has stayed here. So they haven't had a whole lot of rain in Jamaica, but they're going to get a lot. And mudslide and heavy rain and flash flood threat for Jamaica and the island of Hispaniola remains the biggest threat. And then it will eventually make a move to the north and east. And that actually is going to happen because our cold front coming in here middle of next week to make it nice and cool for Halloween, that front's going to come in. It's going to go all the way into the Carib, and that is what it's going to help pick up and finally move Melissa, finally move it out across the Bahamas and out of here. Here's the modeling on this. This is where a major hurricane is forecast to be sitting by Monday afternoon. So still sitting here Monday afternoon. And again, what you're looking at is a powerful counterclockwise rotation. And so that is going to sling all this moisture. The fetch coming off the Carib will be long into Jamaica. You know, where there's elevation, they're going to get mudslides, and the flooding there is going to be bad. This is by Monday evening, and then it does finally make a move and just jet out of there as we get into the middle of next week as the trough comes in to push it out and away. Rain totals, this is really, aside from the major hurricane winds that will be threatening Jamaica and the eastern end of Cuba as it makes that move out, rain total forecasts, and these are underdone. Models always have a hard time with how much moisture is actually in a tropical system and how much can get wrung out. You know, they're forecasting 22 inches of rain for Kingston, Jamaica, 18 inches on the west side of the island of Hispaniola. You're going to get some rain totals in here that are probably 15 to 20. You'll probably get rain totals in here that are 30 inches, you know, 15 to 20 inches east side of Cuba easily. So flooding and mudslides a gigantic threat with this particular tropical system. All right, so let's take us through our forecast for tonight here in Houston. We're going to get this line of thunderstorms coming in here. Between now and 5 a.m., line of storms rolls in. Let me just back this up for a little bit, give you a little timing on it. This is the very latest high-res modeling, reaching Brenham to Bryan to Columbus, the leading edge of this line of thunderstorms, by about 2:30 in the morning. So lightning and thunder are going to wake you guys up. There may be some gusty wind with this. Straight line winds will be the biggest threat with that line of thunderstorms. That's 2:30 in the morning. And then by the time we get into about 4:30, that's when the leading edge reaches the downtown area. And then it'll be toward the beaches by about 7:30 in the morning. That is actually round 1 of 2 rounds of storms that we're expecting tomorrow. And because of that, weather impact alert is in effect for tomorrow. Friday's forecast. Okay, I need to flip this. Let's just skip to the extended. So Saturday's forecast, 100% chance for rain and thunderstorms in the wee hours this morning. I think we're going to get a little break in the middle of the day Saturday, and then Saturday afternoon and evening we get another round of rain and thunderstorms. And those actually I think are severe threat. If we're going to get any wind damage or an isolated tornado, it'll be tomorrow afternoon and evening that we have the best chance for that. So 2 rounds of rain, morning, 1 in the morning, and then 1 in the evening on Saturday, for a real messy day. Much nicer on Sunday. We get a real cold front. First one Tuesday evening, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and Halloween Friday are just spectacular. We'll take a detailed look at all of that on our next live broadcast. That's on KHOU 11 News at 10 o'clock tonight. Len, Mia,